How's everybody doing tonight? So tonight I'm going to do a review on a knife that I haven't hardly been able to put down since I got it. And that is the BergBlades Alpha. And this one's in MagnaCut with a micarta handle. And I got to tell you, it's a joy to carry. You know, it's a larger knife. So if that bothers you, right off the bat, I would say this probably isn't the knife for you, but it doesn't bother me to carry a larger knife. I don't have any issues with it. I don't notice it really in my pocket until I want to use it. So I'm cool with that. But yeah, this is, like I said, the BergBlades Alpha. MagnaCut, micarta, titanium liners, which have a ton of milling, internal milling. So even though this is a larger knife, it's, the weight is not bad. Let's see where the balance is. Let's see here. Yeah, it's a little back heavy, but it's not super heavy, especially for how large the knife is. You know what? Let's give it I'll weigh it real quick. I don't know exactly how much it is. All right, let's see what this guy comes in at. 4.3 ounces, not bad, especially considering the blade length on it, I believe was 3.7, maybe something like that. 3.5 inch was the cutting edge, I'm pretty sure. So 4.3 ounces, not bad. The full titanium one might be a little heavier. I don't know, because they have, some other variants of this knife. They got the full tie. They got a full tie black DLC, DLC frame, DLC blade, which is polished, which looks pretty cool. And it has like carbon fiber overlays. The full titanium ones without the inlays are frame, the frame lock is exposed. So this frame lock is kind of hidden. And I believe this is still a frame lock. There's nothing screwed into here. This is all one piece of titanium on the side. And I would consider that a frame lock in my opinion. The blade has a nice satin finish on it, MagnaCut blade. It's just, the jimping too. It's like some of the most aggressive jimping I've ever seen on a knife. I mean, this knife is just like, would be a really good outdoors camp knife maybe. Maybe not like as good of as a fixed blade or something like that. But as far as a folding pocket knife, this would be one of what I would consider like a harder use, folding pocket knife. And I haven't really used this one super hard. I'm not like one of those reviewers that goes out there and, I'm batoning folding knives into 2x4s and stuff like that. I just use a knife like a normal person pretty much. Well, what I would consider normal. I open packages with it. I cut, apples and fruit and stuff with it. And, just use it for normal everyday stuff. Maybe some rope here and there and maybe some wood, sometimes I'll whittle a little bit with my knives. So, but, this one has been great for all that. It does have a little bit thicker blade stock on it. So that's something to take note of. But it does have a nice tall flat grind on it. It's a pretty broad blade. So it still slices pretty well from what the use that it's seen since I've carried it. And I pretty much haven't put this thing down since I got it. I've been carrying the crap out of it. And I don't know if it's just because I'm in that phase where I got a new knife. I want to carry it. It's pretty sweet. Or if, I really do like it so far though. I don't have, most of my knives are frame locks or like this. This is a frame lock, but most of them have an exposed frame and, kind of even like this, it's somewhat exposed, but, this frame is totally hidden. So left-handed, right-handed. Oh, there is no left-handed mounting for the pocket clip, but you're never going to be on that lock bar, which is kind of nice. Not all knives have that feature that I think are this, kind of overbuilt and strong. I'll do a couple quick size comparisons for you guys here. I don't have the exact specs on this knife, but I'll compare it to, a pretty common knife that a lot of people have, the Para 3. And it's, definitely probably about maybe a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch longer on each side. That gives you an idea of how much more cutting edge you have with the Alpha. This knife was designed after his fixed blade. So, I think that's what he was going for, the aesthetic, and I think he really kind of pulled it off. I think it looks really nice. And at first glance, you could mistake it for a fixed blade. For one thing, you can't see the pivot because it's under the overlay, which is kind of cool. This is the BergBlades Sweeney. A little bit longer than Sweeney, not a whole lot. Definitely broader, obviously. And it's thicker as well, which, you know, I'll compare that for you guys really quick too. The action on this thing it's really smooth. So the thickness, let's see. So as you can see, it's chunky. You know, it's a little bit chunky. It's quite a bit thicker than the Sweeney. And compared to the Para 3, definitely quite a bit thicker than the Para 3. So, I mean, will you notice it in your pocket more than those knives? Obviously. But for me, it wasn't an issue. You know, it felt fine in the pocket. This knife has a really high fidget factor. It's just really fun to deploy. It has a nice thwack to it when it pops out. And it clicks nice into the closed position too. The detent on it is really nicely tuned for what type of knife it is. You know, I would say it's probably slightly under medium as far as the detent strength, but with a front flipper, you don't want super heavy detent. It's just right. You know, you can roll it, you can thumb. I mean, all forms of deployment. The only form of deployment I would say would probably be lacking a little bit would be the thumb flick, just because it's a little tough to get in that fuller, but the reverse flick is excellent. Yeah, I've been, you know, like I said, I've been using this knife for a couple weeks. It is a little bit thicker. You do notice that when you're cutting things like, you know, doing food prep and vegetables and stuff. Like I'll have an apple every morning and I'll skin it usually, and yeah, it worked fine for that. But you can tell it's a little bit thicker than something like the Sweeney. So, but if you're going to use this knife for, I'd say, outdoorsy stuff, I think it would work really well. You know. I love the aesthetic too. You know, it's got nice lines. The handle is super ergonomic, very comfortable. There's no flipper tab, so you can choke up if you're going to use the knife. Cutting through cardboard and boxes and stuff like that would work really well. And the handle is really neutral. You know, there's like a little bump right in the middle, and it just feels really good. I like the fact that when you're holding a knife and it's got some thickness to it. I'm not a big fan of the super skinny knives. Just not my thing. I understand why people want to have the smallest, you know, object they can have in their pocket. But for me, it's not that big of a deal. I can still fit my phone in the pocket that I put my knife in, and that's what I do. Throw my keys in my other pocket, and I'm good to go, you know. So, yeah, this is a good one, man. I got to say, it's just solid. And the only negative I can point out on it would be the pocket clip, and for me, it's not that much of a negative. So if you have thicker pants or you have like double seam pants, yeah, it's going to be tight. You know, there's not a lot of room in there. For me, I wear like thinner hiking type pants most of the time, and it works just fine with those. You know, in and out of the pocket just fine. The clip ergonomically, you can't even hardly tell it's there. I mean, it's so low to the scale. And everything is rounded, softened. The knife as a whole is contoured slightly, and it does have a really comfortable grip, you know. So if you're going to be someone who's like using a pocket knife for work or, you know, for daily activities all the time, this knife is going to lend itself well to that. It's going to be comfortable, and you could use it for extended periods, I would imagine, and you wouldn't have any issues with it at all. I haven't used it enough to have to sharpen it or anything, but so far it's held an edge really well. You know, it's only been a couple weeks, but still, so far so good. So the MagnaCut seems nice. But yeah, I just wanted to share this knife with everybody. I wanted to do a quick review on it. You know, if you're not afraid of larger knives, this is a good one. You know, here's the Giant Mouse Corda, and you know, I'll put out the Microtech as well, Ultratech. So really, it's about the same length as an Ultratech. So if you're familiar with that size knife, you know, that's about what size this is. This knife was limited run, so it might be difficult to get, but he will do another run. I would pretty much bet on it. He's done multiple runs on the Sweeney rather, and some of his other models. And this one is pretty popular so far, so I think he'll do another run on it. You can still maybe get this on his website, this particular variant. I think all the other variants are sold out, but I think you can get this one, which I would recommend it. And you never know. You could always catch it on the secondary market, maybe Blade Binge or eBay or something like that. You can find one. Sometimes I'll wait a few months and I'll see a lot of his designs pop back up. People decide to move on and get something else. There's a couple Sweeneys for sale right now, and that knife is maybe not sold out, but multiple runs of it have sold out before. So yeah, it's the BergBlades Alpha. Yeah. Thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate it. Y'all have a wonderful evening out there. Take care.